A lot of people who know me, the way I do business, I do try to be respectful. So I thought I would kind of perhaps show one of those ways. Now, you know, I'm trying to get rid of my Striders, and I still have an old Vim crew left over. And there's an individual who wants to trade an Emerson dreadlock light. And I told him, okay, that sounds cool, but I need I want to ask Mr. Ellison first, because, you know. And so I sent Mr. Ellison an email, which I'm going to show you guys. You can see it's right here. So basically I just said I have this channel called Neptune Knives. You know, can get kind of controversial, also a dealer. I make it a point to be honest in my reviews and about the products I sell and promote. Another YouTuber wants to trade with me, you know, a dreadlock light. So I'm aware it's a liner lock. I usually test my knives in vids. I'm thinking it is a medium use tactical folder and would rate it accordingly. No batoning or serious, you know, prying. And I tend to look at fit and finish also and get pretty detailed. I said I wanted to contact you prior to picking one up. If the knife is awesome, I would like to ask to do business together. This sometimes doesn't work well because most dealers want pure salesmen, so you would have to accept my honesty policy, because I would simultaneously be putting down yet also promoting, in a sense, you know, your product. This can also be seen though that you're willing to work with the honest dealer and that you accept criticism. Regardless, before I even buy it, or basically trade, I want to know what your thoughts are. If you don't want me to see what your knives are about, that is understandable, and I do not want to inadvertently affect your income plans. You know, by here it's really good, fit and finish. I'm just trying to be respectful. So I emailed him and I told the guy on YouTube who wants to trade that, you know, let's give him a couple of days. Let's wait a little while if you're in no rush. And the person on YouTube said no problem. So now I'm waiting. I don't know how I can be more considerate than that. Is he someone who doesn't reply very often? Like I said, if anyone knows, please let me know, and please let him know, so he can either tell me no or yes on the knife. Here's the Hinder Gen 3. This one is already sold, but I want to show it on camera. So the individual who wants this one, you can see, I really like the black. And this was my favorite one originally. This is the one I want to keep, is XHP. You know, the lockup is good. You know, let's see. I mean, it's a good knife, solid knife. See, locks up there. You know what I mean? Give it a nice flick. Still locks up there. It's great. I mean, and this detent, you know, the blade centered. Right? You can hear it, but it doesn't just like fly out. But it's smooth. See? So this was actually a good Gen 3, definitely one of the better ones. Now, here we have though the new Gen 4, another individual. Here's you can see this is not, but I haven't added any lube, but it's still smooth. I mean, you can kind of tell it's smooth, you know. But the detent is good, more improved, you know. You can see here. Is it focusing? Centered. And then you can see the differences. Now if you go to my website, you'll see though there's a good picture showing the Gen 3 and the Gen 4 blade tangs. I may not be able to catch them, but I showed this before how Mr. Hinder increased the lock angle. But also new is kind of another new change since the slicer ones I just got in is here you can see the old stop pins. There was always kind of abrasive, kind of a hard cut edge. Let's see. I mean the thumb studs right there, you can see. The new ones have this kind of custom knife, very clean contoured look. I was like, wow, that's nice. So he went ahead and even improved that now. I didn't even need to. So like I said, it's just these knives are perfect. I mean, sometimes there's just knives that are perfect. I mean, it just then becomes totally personal preference. There's nothing I can say about them. I mean, if the Burnleys are perfect fit and finish and they are constructed well, I mean, and the Hinder is, I mean, there's really truly no criticism. That is what it is. Really great. I mean, even the blade grinds, I mean, really, you know, just outstanding job. I mean, look, if you look at the height, like all throughout, right? See? It's the same. It's all throughout. It's just, it's wonderful. I mean, it's just like good. It's centered. Look at the tip. You can see that the actual edges lined up right. So really good. You know, I respect the Hinder knife so much. Like I like it. I mean, I openly tell people it's perfect. I mean, I you know, I respect Mr. Hinder. It would just be so awesome to be able to recognize Hinder and to have him recognize me too. You know, to be able to have a relationship with the guy. it'd be cool. I mean, I could ask some questions and tell you guys, you know, input and his ideas more, but I haven't been able to get a reply from Hinder since my Strider video. I wish Mr. Hinder knew that. I mean, I want to send him an email. That's what I was going to say next. I was going to send Mr. Hinder an email now, and I'm going to say to Mr. Hinder, say, hey, look, you know, I've done it before. I said, we understand your guys' business on your knives. We hope that our bids are correct. Let us know if we need to annotate anything. Your guys will be attending U.S. Central and look forward to the meeting you guys. So this is just way back. I mean, this is what stuff I'm talking about. He's like, certainly welcome you to the Hinder Knives family. And I just hope that's still true. I mean, I was saying I would be honored to be on your list. I openly say, like as I said, openly say the XM Gen 4 and my perfect knives on my YouTube channel. Be honored to be a dealer and have a closer relation with you guys. I even asked, is it okay if I sell knives on the secondary? You see right here. It says, if I become a dealer, am I limited to waiting to get my order of XM folders? You know, or you know, basically, I don't want to disrespect any of your guys' business practices, so I need to know before I make my initial buy-in. He says, Dave, you can buy and sell what you want from the secondary market. That has nothing to do with us all. So we should start shipping the investigator pens around December 1st. If you want to send an order in now, we'll fit it in as soon as we can. Mr. Thomas, I've done it. I've said, hey, check out my website and let me know if there's just anything. Thanks again, Thomas family. I've been updating the info on my website about your knives. Could you check for any errors and how long it was again you've been at this? I said 20 plus, I can't remember. You know, I just want you guys to know that, like, I mean, people here are like, oh man, you say the most ridiculous stuff and you know, you're undermining the efforts of these knife makers. No, I always ask. I mean, I'm trying to be as respectful as I can be. I mean, I do this with every knife maker. I do this. This is the way I do things. It's just kind of more behind the scenes. I've never thought to actually show everybody, but I do want people to know. I thought maybe I'll let people know this is how it's kind of been. Because I'm trying to just do my best here. You know, try to be fair to everybody, you guys, because you know, and me included as consumers. You know, we have a right to know something that's unbiased, and then also with the dealers, the makers too. Be fair to them also, and so I hope that whoever watches this and even the knife makers included, you guys know that I have always been try to be as considerate as I can be to these knife makers and their, I guess you could say, like their cause, their work. If you guys see here any updates, I have an Emerson now. This is a CQC7V. I just got this at Plaza Cutlery yesterday. You know, that's my local knife shop. We'll say, you know, one thing, the person there has said that this was, the V stood for like a special version that's only in shops. I don't know, is that true? Like it's not available online? Because I went to Emerson's site and I saw it. But I went to Emerson's site and it said that the V actually stands for basically a V edge, rather than the standard chisel. So, yeah, and the employee was a little misinformed, but that's fine. Now, had to have a talk with Dan about Kylie, so that was not so fun. You know, that was embarrassing. You know, it was just, that was, I feel bad about that. But I mean, I did take my video down, but I picked up this Emerson, so I thought, you know what, before I start reviewing this Emerson and doing my full take on it, you know, let me ask you guys a couple questions about it, and maybe you guys can tell me, and you know, and we can go from there. You know, this is my CQC7V. First, I noticed that it's really gritty. Like, you hear this? It's not smooth. Now, I don't give a crap about that. You know, that's fine. I mean, I don't mind breaking in a knife, but you can see it's off-center. Now, when I got it, it was centered. I mean, you know, they had a couple in stock, so of course I chose the one that was the best. I went for the one that had the most solid lockup, you know, and it was centered. It moved off-center, which means the pivot's loose, which means there's side-to-side play, which there is, like, pretty drastic. You can see it. See? You see? There's a definite... Okay, so there's definite side-to-side play. So it's not tight, but it's still rough, and it's off-center. So my next question is, does Emerson put Loctite? You know, I'm kind of liking this knife, actually, believe it or not. There's a couple cool things that I think I can talk about in the video. I can say right off the bat, the fit and finish is is not like a Spyderco, especially not a Spyderco perhaps from, maybe like a US made one or like a Taiwan made version. I mean, the Spydercos usually all have Loctite and all the screws. Everything seems to be, the lining up of everything seems to be just a little bit cleaner. Definitely Emerson gives me that production feeling, but it's a total different thing because with an Emerson, I understand I'm paying US made. I think some of it is the name, but then also is, the knives are totally different. An Emerson compared to Spyderco, an Emerson is like a tactical like beast or something. It's more like a serious knife for sure. And I thought maybe that's kind of like a thing when you buy an Emerson, you're not supposed to be an amateur, a newbie. You're supposed to be someone who kind of knows a little bit about knives or about how to research information about knives. So my question is then, in terms of fit and finish, if Emerson doesn't package his product basically with Loctite, I'm curious because I've heard, now here's my question, I've heard people say that these pivots loosen quickly, through waving, and you have to tighten them, and even with Loctite perhaps they come off, it's still loosen, but I was like, you could use stronger Loctite, and I've heard that, they do have a break-in period, and I've also heard that the titanium liner doesn't last so well, and those are my concerns right now. So those are my kind of questions. Initial sharpness too is another thing of fit and finish, and that's another question for me too. Is that this doesn't seem so sharp. Like it's not bad, but you can kind of see how it's kind of, if someone was new to knives, my first thing I would think is that, do they just think, well, it loosens, I just tighten it, it loosens, I just tighten it. Is that to be expected? Is that, and if someone's new to getting an Emerson like me, are they like, oh, well, it's kind of stiff, is that normal also? And this I've sharpened, it's like, it's like, if I go fast, it doesn't seem so sharp. It just seems a little rough. In my opinion, like it's definitely not like clean, like it's so that's all I'm asking. Like again, fit and finish wise, I mean, I don't mind. I mean, if for example it would cost me more money to have Emerson make a very clean refine edge, and to make the finish better, and because there is a serious amount of value in here already at the price point which I paid was $174. I know that Plaza didn't tinker. The Plaza is like, they sell knives. They don't tinker with anything. They don't take anything apart. They don't even evaluate anything. So I know that this knife is straight from Emerson. No issues. No tinkering. I mean, I could put a complete mess of blue lube in there, and it just still, it's like, you hear it? Why is it so? Now, I haven't taken it apart yet because I'm trying to evaluate the knife as if I was an individual that, normal knife user, buys it from his shop, uses it, doesn't tinker and stuff. So I haven't taken it apart yet. So right now I'm evaluating it this way. But the next step is after this video I am going to take it apart, see what's going on. You guys can let me know. Appreciate it.